Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I'm posting dangerous things on Twitter.
I'm Sean Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
And the dangerous things you're posting are the ones that are going to get me in trouble, you prick!
We had a fun pre-banter, but we're not... Listen, we aren't here to talk about the Patreon pre-banters, alright? We're here to talk about whatever bullshit anime you've got in store.
Identity theft is a crime, damn it. But, yes, Rem. This week, I actually have a bit of an interesting comparison for what we covered last week, actually.
Are you just straight up doing the weird one this week? You just pulling it right now?
I mean, honestly, I was tempted. I was tempted to just whip it out right after that. So basically, all you would have decided is the order of what you saw things in. I thought that would have been hilarious. But no, actually, I have a more interesting comparison to throw out into the world. Because what we are going to cover this week, Rem, is also a very popular manga that a lot of people wanted an anime for. But not quite to the same extent as Komi-san.
Okay.
Yeah, different genres, kind of, and different flavors of things. And also different execution in terms of the anime.
Okay.
And I thought it would be interesting to compare the two side by side a little bit, hence why we're doing it this week. Because a lot of people are not happy with this anime adaptation. I'll say it straight out.
Okay, cool, so it's trash.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I would just say that it's not what they wanted or expected. Because, Remington, what we're watching this week is still technically an anime, but it's...
Oh, fuck.
I would call it more of an animatic than an anime.
Okay, alright. This feels like it's not gonna be an anime.
It is an anime. It is an anime. It's just that the animation on it is very limited, is what I'm gonna say.
Alright, cool.
Because,
It's actually just a podcast over a single anime image.
who would ever do something like that?
Yeah, but it's like, it'll be an audio drama, so there's like, content.
No, it's a bit of a weird situation because I would honestly I think it would be more accurately to describe this as a reproduction of the manga, colorized with some slight animation and some pretty decent voice acting. Which is not what a lot of people wanted. People wanted like a full, proper animated experience of this. And I thought it would be interesting to compare side by side and see if that is a warranted critique, or if the way they did things is still valid in its own way.
Okay.
But I should probably actually tell you what it is we're watching.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that'd probably really get into it. Tell me, Remington, have you ever heard of Goku Shufudo?
Well, if you truncate it to Goku.
Yeah, hey, Rem, have you heard of Goku?
I have, Sean. I am familiar.
Man, well, we're watching Goku today. That's it. We're just gonna put Goku up on a screen and watch him. See what he does.
Just see what he's up to. just like one of those virtual pet games, but it's just fucking Goku.
Tamagoku.
It's just Goku. Oh, Tamagoku would be rad as fuck, dude.
You got a Tamagoku, I'm stuck with a Tama Vegeta. It's a honestly quite the controversial choice.
No, but we can link them up and then they can be friends and possibly breed. Gogeta, here we come. I think that's how the lore works. I think that's...
Yeah, no, they touch tips and then they become Gogeta. That's how Gogeta is born. Oh god, this is cursed. No. But Goku Fushodu... Wait, no, I said a bunch of those syllables backwards. Goku Shufudo is English translation is The Way of the Househusband.
Okay, all right, cool.
And it is a lovely little slice of life comedy manga that is.
I assume it's just about a stay-at-home husband.
It is.
Yeah.
But the stay-at-home husband is known as Immortal Dragon Tatsu, who is a former Yakuza boss.
Okay, I understand the premise now. I can vibe with it.
Yeah. So
now the real important question though,
yes,
like, is it a fun premise which it jumps off from, or is it just a gimmick that it never goes beyond?
Well, I suppose that'll have to be something you decide on when we watch it. Keeping in mind that it is definitely a very limited style of animation. But I will say the voice acting is quite fun on it as well. But that is essentially what the show is. It's very straightforward. It is literally a bunch of slice of life vignettes and comedic bits about our main fellow Tatsu taking his stay-at-home husband stuff way too seriously and treating it with like the brutality of a Yakuza.
Yeah.
And just the situations he gets into. And his lovely relationship with his lovely wife, who is the breadwinner of the household.
Does she have a notable job?
God, she does. She works in an office of some kind, if I recall correctly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, proper business lady.
Office work.
Yeah, and she's also a weeb.
Oh, shit.
Well, I say that. Otaku is the more proper term, but, you know.
Boo.
But not. I'm just going to make the easiest comparison for you, Rem. Not like me.
It's too late. I already know who the antagonist of the show is. I've already cracked that riddle.
How dare she like things outside of her work?
Well, she can like things, just not
anime and games.
Yeah.
That's super harsh, bud. But no, it's a nice, super simple, easy show, which is why people thought, hey, if this show gets a full animation budget in studio, it could be a really good slice of life comedy, because nothing makes a good comedy manga better than over-the-top animation to really enhance a good goof.
All right. So is this a short form anime, or is this just?
That's the other thing, Rem. It's weirdly kind of a short form anime, but only sometimes, because each episode ranges between like 15 to 19 minutes.
Okay. So it's a mid-length.
Yeah, it's kind of in a weird niche time frame. And since
so it probably wasn't televised.
Oh, no, this was straight to Netflix.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, it's it's also it's an ONA, which is an original net animation.
Okay,
so just an anime that was directly released onto the internet, primarily through Netflix in our case.
All right, cool. Well, is there anything else that I really need to know about it? Or that
honestly, Rem,
discuss?
Pretty nice, easy, straightforward, and it's just the idea of another very popular manga being turned into an anime, but not quite the adaptation a lot of people wanted, and whether or not it stacks up.
So did they not want it due to just like the poor animation, or was it like also substance at all?
It's mostly, because honestly, it's very much a almost one-to-one translation of the manga for the most part. It's just very much a type of, they wanted an anime, they thought they were getting an anime, but when they watched the first episode, it was very much more of an animatic than anything.
Okay, all right, fair
enough.
So
there's a lot of misplaced expectations, I think, is the way that this anime has been presented to us, and whether or not it's justified to get all the hate it gets, or whether it is perfectly justified. We're trying to take an impartial view at it, Rem. And by impartial, I mean I'm throwing it to you, and if you end up saying some really nice niche things about it, hey, that's good for the show and for the future. And
don't worry, Sean, I am the voice of the people, and I will decide what the people say about the show.
I don't think that's what being the voice of the people means, Ren.
I feel like it is sort of what it means, though. I feel like kind of sort of is in a way.
I feel like that's what certain historical figures thought being the voice of the people was, and it did not go so well for them. Well, I mean, at first it went really well for them, and then it really didn't.
Well, yeah, the difference is They weren't, actually. I am.
Whatever you say, Caesar. With that in mind, I think we've learned enough. So without further ado, let's get right into some Way of the House Husband. That's where a lot of the really toxic conversations happen. Like, one of the first one that comes to mind in that regard is like a Goku versus Superman scenario. And y'all, it's a boring conversation.
I don't think that the animation by itself makes it like a terrible show or anything. This show is the least worthwhile show you may have ever shown me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after watching 4 whole episodes of Goku Shufudo, or The Way of the House Husband. And Remington, I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on it, because there's a lot of controversy surrounding the production values of this show. And I want to know if you have any insights into whether or not that hinders or matters at all with this product.
All right, Sean. Well, like you mentioned, let's start with the elephant in the room. The animation is bad. It's terrible. It is not
An
animation. Yeah. It's terrible. But I am going to come to its defense, and I will say that after like an episode or so, I was able to like acclimate to it. I was able to get used to it, so it wasn't egregiously, noticeably awful every moment, right? You fall into a certain rhythm. They stylize enough stuff so it's still visually interesting enough, even if even if the anime, yeah. So
that's why I said it was an animatic and not an animation.
Yeah. So while I think that the animation is terrible, I don't think that the animation by itself makes it like a terrible show or anything.
All
For
right.
the show itself, Sean,
Yeah.
I think that this show is the least worthwhile show you may have ever shown me.
Holy shit.
Of all time. Like,
Holy
ever.
shit.
I would have to, like, look back at the catalog to check, but man, this is a strong candidate.
I mean, Rem, I've shown you bad, etchy bullshit trash thousands, like, multiple times, and you're saying this is the least worthwhile.
Yes, because even, like, all right, let's take something like a Sword Art Online. All right, I understand that can have value, especially if you're like 12 years old. I get it, right? Some nonsense, horny bullshit. All right, I understand that can have some value if you're really fucking horny. Or to hurt me, or just even like to make fun of and to mock and have fun with. Like, there's different versions of worth and value, but like I can understand where the value comes from these. Something like Forest Fairy 5, it's just so fucking weird, dude. Or a Violence Voyager, they're just so fucking weird. They have value. This show doesn't have anything.
Holy shit, that's a harsh criticism, Rem.
There were multiple times where I would be watching this show, right? And I would, so it's formatted vignette style. You'll have a bunch of different bits per episode, usually like, I don't know, 5 or 6 maybe. And there'd be times where I'd be watching and all I'd be doing is watching. I'm not like having a secondary activity. I'm watching and literally taking notes about what I'm seeing. And I would recognize a bit just ended, and I don't know if I like was aware of it happening at any point. So I would have to rewatch it. And then by the end, sometimes I'd be like, all right, so I guess this is what happened. Or other times I'd be like, oh, I guess I was paying attention and it was just nothing. Like, it is one of the worst adaptations of anything I've ever seen. And I don't even know the original, but what it largely felt like, right, Sean? Mm-hmm. We've compared it. I've noted it before how there's some blatant like short form manga into anime where it's super obvious, or like webcomic especially, right, into anime. Mm-hmm. And usually it's very obvious. It's very blatant. Mm-hmm. Let's take that to its most extreme. All right, I choose a nice little comic strip from your childhood, Sean. Anyone?
Okay. From my childhood?
Yeah, sure.
That's gonna say it.
whatever comic strip you find charming.
Okay, then let's go with Calvin and Hobbes.
Calvin and Hobbes. All right. So I want you to just imagine just a nice little 3 comic strip, right? 3 panel strip, and the sort of the punchline is just a very specific joking face or something that Calvin is making, right? And it's just nice and silly. Mm-hmm. And that could work. That can work when it takes 2.5 seconds to read through the comic strip, right? And it's like, oh yes, that was pleasant. I got my dopamine, moving on now. All right, now take that exact same punchline. Do not alter it in any way. But now instead of 2.5 seconds, make it 3 minutes. Also, do not add any content. I don't want you to add anything to those first 2 strips other than, I guess, just filling out the details of them. And it arrives at the exact same conclusion. The joke is still just the silly face. Well, suddenly when we're 3 minutes of commitment into it, it's a lot less worthwhile a journey than when it was 2.5 seconds. Especially because this whole show, it has 1 joke, Sean. And it's not like it's a fine joke, but it's fine once, but it's the only thing they do. So it's a story about a former Yakuza boss who now is a house husband, all right? Mm-hmm. That's the joke. I've told you the joke. That's it. Repeat 10 times per episode. Oh, wait, but sometimes the joke is that other Yakuza bosses get involved and they're surprised he's a house husband. That's it! That's the whole fucking show! Like, it's so devoid of value. So often a vignette happens and then it just ends. And I'm left wondering, like, what was the point? And sometimes, and this is relevant to the point I made earlier with the Calvin and Hobbes, sometimes, like, for instance, there's one instance where someone important is coming over, right? Mm-hmm. And so he needs to tidy up a little bit, but he ends up making a mess of himself, and some wine gets shattered all over, and so he has wine all over himself, and the house is a mess. And so when the important person comes, it looks like he's been in a terrible fight and he's bloodied all over. And, like, they have a very specific still image that they point to, but, like, that's the punchline, which, once again, it could work if I spent 5 seconds of my life through this. And I'd be like, aha, yes, I get it. But it's just way too much of a time investment doing fucking nothing for a very low payoff. Further, all right, well, all right, the comedy's bad, but what about the characters? What fucking characters? They have no personality. All right, our main character, he's a Yakuza boss, right? But he's a house husband. Want to know about his character, Sean?
Sure.
All right, so he's a Yakuza boss, but he's a house husband.
I see where this is going.
That's it! That's the whole character! There is literally nothing beyond that! His wife, she really likes a very specific anime. All right, we've summed her up. Like, there's just so little substance in this show. It sort of blows my mind. It's insane to me.
Yeah.
At the very start, in part 1 of this episode that we're recording, I asked, is it going to be like just a gimmick, or is it a premise used as a jumping off point? It is just a gimmick. It's not a great gimmick, but that is all that it is.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, well, what if I told you this, Rem? The manga is very well enjoyed and beloved, but, each vignette conversion is only about 10 to 12 pages of manga. And they're very big panels, Rem. Like, very big panels.
Yeah, like, once again, I feel like I could consume any one of these bits. They're not even long bits. They're only a couple minutes a piece, but they still are way longer than they should be. There's just no substance at any time. Like, you gotta do something with them at some point. It makes me lose my fucking mind.
It's almost like if you're going to make a short form, like simple gag manga into any kind of long form adaptation, you should at the very least, overemphasize a bunch of other aspects of it to make it more interesting in a visual format.
Like, I feel like this is the case where the adaptation should have tried to capture the essence of it, but moved past the material. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I don't usually do this, Rem, but I actually just sent you the first chapter, which is only 12 pages. Just glance through it, and tell me how similar it is to the quote-unquote animation.
All right, so first of all, did they just trace over the manga but worse?
Seems like it, yeah.
I've seen all of these stills! I've seen it all! There's no deviation! Literally, these motherfuckers, like, alright, you know the fucking annoying orange? These motherfuckers basically just annoying orange put moving mouths on to the manga panels, and we're like, there we go, we're fucking set. And once again, I can move past the shitty animation. I can't move past the shitty fucking show. I'm losing my mind.
Cause yeah, you read that first chapter and you think to yourself, "Oh, this is fun and amusing for a brief minute. I can see what they're going for," but then you stretch it out to like 10 times the length, and then you get this show.
It would be as if you handed me that chapter, right?
Right.
And then and then I'd be like, "Wow, okay, that was pleasant. That's some good stuff." And then you looked at me and were like, "You want to reread it?" And I'd be like, "Oh, probably not." And if you were like, how many episodes of the anime are there?
There are 10 episodes total.
Okay, so let me do the quick math. All right, so and then you were like, "Hey, wanna reread that one manga, that one chapter for 3 hours?" No! Why would I want to do that? Why would I? Because let me emphasize, that's what it is. There's not enough to justify the variety. There's no variety. There's not enough to justify it. It's not a case where it's like, interesting premise, let's see what they do. No, it's interesting premise. That's all they did.
So, like, you're saying that the show could potentially be good if they didn't just do what they did, essentially.
Yeah, it's like, all right, cool, guys. Like, hey, I get it. He used to be a Yakuza boss, and now he's a house husband. I understand that bit. I gotcha. So, you're gonna do anything with this? Or you're just gonna keep repeating it? Like, it's that friend who like, pitches you his idea, right? And you're like, oh, okay, all right. So, your friend comes up and he's like, oh, all right, man, great idea for a show, right? All right, so it's like a former Yakuza boss, but he's a house husband. And you're like, dude, that sounds pretty insane. All right. And then what? He's like, what? No, dude, he's like a Yakuza boss, but he's a house husband. You're like, yeah, but where does it go from there? He's like, I don't think you're getting it. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. It is a fine concept but genuinely, I'll tell you right, listeners, if you've not read the manga, or if you've not watched the show, by sharing the premise, I've told you the joke. I've given it to you.
For free.
For free. Like, so I don't know, Sean. It blows my mind how banal this show is.
What if I told you that there was a live action version before the anime?
What the fuck? Was
Yeah.
it better? Did they do something?
A lot of people say it's really good. I didn't watch it, but I've heard a lot of people are like, hey, this is what we enjoy in the manga, but a little bit more.
Well, let me know. For the people who are like, definitely guys should watch the live action one, blah, 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 blah. All right, before you send that,
Yeah.
I recognize that it will probably be visually better, but I cannot emphasize enough how the thing that is being chastised the most about this show is literally last on my concerns. Like, I cannot emphasize how the animation, for me, not a deal breaker. Far from. And so, if that is the biggest selling point between the anime and the live action, right? Mm-hmm. Then I'm not sold.
So you're saying you'd just rather read a couple chapters of the manga as opposed to spending as much time as you did on the long-form versions?
Yeah, no, like, I just skimmed through what you sent to me. I am satisfied. I've gotten everything. I have everything it has to offer me. I do not need any more of the same. Thank you.
But a lot of people really like the manga, Rem.
No, this is what's happened, right? All right, so you've crafted just a plain little white rice ball, right? But you've done it in a fun shape, right? And I'm like, oh, that's a fun shape. And you're like, here you go. And I'm like, cool. So I'll eat the rice ball in the fun shape, right? And it's not like a wildly interesting meal, but it is a fun shape. And then you're like, all right, I made another one. And I'm like, oh, what's this shape? And you're like, it's the same one. Look at that little teddy bear. And I'm like, all right, I mean, yes. Like the one I had earlier. And you're like, you gonna eat this one too? And I'm like, I guess because you are watching me so intently, I guess I will. Well, thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna move on. And you're like, wait, I'm gonna make one in a fun shape. I'm like, are you making a teddy bear? You can make a teddy bear again. All right. You're like, you want this more? I'm like, I feel like I've had enough white rice. Regardless of its fun shape, that is the exact same shape.
I don't know, man. I quite like white rice.
But, all right, do you want to load up your entire meals just one day, plain white rice, nothing else?
Oh, I mean, don't be ridiculous.
They will all be teddy bear shaped. The exact same teddy bear shape. There will not be variety in the shape.
Maybe, can I at least have a little bit of soy sauce here?
Oh, no, you fucking wish. Oh, you will be hoping. You know what? I will give you a dab, literally a drop of soy sauce, because sometimes the show is about their cat. There's 2 or 3 vignettes that we've had that are about their cat. Now, what's the cat's deal? It's a cat.
Yeah.
That is the whole, it's not like, it's a cat, but this is their personality. We're not getting Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. No, we're not getting personality. It is just a cat who's doing cat things. That's it.
The cat's name is Geen, if you want to be, respectful to the cat.
I don't, because, it's a little bit cute in a 1 or 2 stills, but not even, notably so. And then he just walks around and he's like, hey, I'm a cat. And the world is like, look at you are a cat. And it's like, all right, thank you.
I mean, that is quite literally what cats do in real life, though, is the issue.
Yeah, but it's not even making a point of it. It's not like, hey guys, this shit cats do. It's just I don't know. And then there's this cat, so he's walking around now. It's like, what? Why? Why? All right, let me tell you about the cat adventures. All right, episode 1, cat adventure. It talks to a couple animals. When I say talks to, it's just hi, other animals, I am a cat. And then it meets a big old trapped dog, a mean-looking dog named Elizabeth, right? And it's stuck to its doghouse, and it's like, wow, you're trapped, and that's it. You guys might think, surely, Remington, there is something more. Surely, Remington, you are not telling us everything. I am. That's the problem, is that I really, truly am. I want to talk about more. I can talk about miscellaneous shit that happens, but, none of it's going to have a point, is the problem. It's not going to be oh, hey, so this happens, then this happens, and therefore this. It'll just be this happens. And then that happens. And then another thing happens. Because he's a Yakuza boss, but he's a house husband. Get it? All right. That's it! I've lost my mind.
Oh, God. This is what I was hoping for. Oh, my Christ. Oh.
It blows my mind that this show is the most devoid of value possibly ever. But at least in a very long time. We've gone into the depths of the abyss, but never have I found something so worthless.
Christ. Genuinely, that might be the most scathing thing you've ever said about a property. You didn't even tackle X-Arm this poorly.
No, because, X-Arm, it's notable for how shit it is. It has value. Get along with the boys and talk some shit. Sure. It's part of the conversation. The exclusively notable thing is that the animation is pretty bad. But then even for me, it wasn't like interestingly bad. It was like, yeah, it's bad. It's basically the manga. Okay. And that's the whole that's all.
I mean, shit, Rem. I think you nailed it. Congrats.
I don't like this show, Sean.
No. I couldn't tell. Oh. I just thought this past 20 minutes was you screaming about some cloud in the sky. I don't know. I thought that you were just letting out some of your deep-seated emotions. God forbid you were actually talking about the show we watched.
Oh, God.
With that in mind, do you have a guess at what the Mal score is for this particular show?
Oh, that's wildly difficult.
Right?
All right. You're going to have dedicated fans who love it no matter what, even if they were disappointed. People who will be like, hey, guys, even though the animation is bad, it's still solid. Which, I'll be honest, I'm sort of the opinion that, like, I don't know, man. It's weird to make the animation deal breaker. It wasn't for me. I feel like just sort of it's flawed inherently. But I feel like there will be people in that category. I feel like it will be still low, dragged hard. I think it's going to be in the 6s, but in the plausible 6s, as I'll call them. 6.72.
Okay. Well, you're going to be disappointed in the weeds, Rem.
Oh my God, y'all have lost your fucking minds.
Because with 150,000 ratings, so not super many, because not too many people watched it as soon as they saw what the animation was, so they didn't bother actually taking the time to review and rate it. That could be a factor, and then of course you got the diehard fans. But with 150,000 ratings, Way of the Househusband anime adaptation is sitting currently at 7.13.
Fuck all of you. Fuck all of you. Like, I genuinely have no idea why you would watch this. Like, I guess maybe if this one joke is the single funniest fucking thing you've ever heard. So to all those listening to the podcast, if the moment in part 1 it was revealed that the premise was old Yakuza boss is now a house husband and you have been in hysterics since, all right, go watch the show. Go ahead. You'll fucking love it.
You know, the sheer amount of people who in the reviews section who gave it a 10 blows my fucking mind.
What the fuck? People are watching this show. I mean, like, this is my platonic ideal. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Like, this one in particular says, this is honestly one of the worst things I've ever seen. But if it got a second season with 50 episodes, I'd watch them all in a day, because I love it. And they gave it a 10 out of 10. I don't know what's wrong with these people.
I don't know, man. I don't know anymore.
Oh, Rem, did I break you a little? Did the reviews hurt a little more than you thought they would?
I struggle to figure out why you could like this show. Unironically, I cannot fathom why one would love it. Like, I can maybe wrap my head around, like, sort of liking it, right?
Right.
Even though that, it's still, like, I don't know, you guys are getting a lot of mileage out of that joke that I'm just not finding. But loving it? I don't know, man. I mean, we see the world differently.
Here's another 10-point review. This show is a masterpiece of anime, and some of you people who don't appreciate that don't deserve to watch it.
You know what, Sean? Maybe I don't deserve to watch it, and thus, you know, maybe I shouldn't have ever watched it. Is my opinion. Both that guy and me would agree. Me watching this show was a mistake. That we would be in full agreement on.
I don't think it was a mistake, Rem, because honestly, I'm having a good time.
Sean, do you want to know the closest to a nice moment in the entire show?
Yeah, sure.
Hit
me with it.
All right, so there's this pretty meaningless bit where the main character is gardening and he's growing basil, right? And the cops are watching and they think he's growing the wacky tobacco and they wanna lock him up. So they follow him and they think he does a drug deal and they follow and they break into a building. But it turns out it's just a birthday party, right? None of that matters. None of that I didn't give a shit about.
Okay.
But when they break in, everybody is just wearing the, like, fake glasses, nose, and mustache combo.
Yeah?
And I got a little bit of a kick out of that. That's it.
That's your highlight?
That unironically, best moment of the entire show. Didn't laugh. But it was the only moment I was like, yeah, all right.
Oh, God.
I guess it is kind of fun to see them all wearing the fake mustaches for no reason. That's fun. Sure. Cool. Cool.
Oh, bless Rem. I suppose then the only question I have to ask Rem is any chance you'd want to watch some more Way of the House Husband?
I hate this show so much. Because, like, I hate this show more than terrible shows. God no. God no. Please, dear God, God no.
Because at least you can make fun of a terrible show.
Yeah. It provides me something. It makes me feel something. At least I know I'm alive when these terrible shows cut me deep. When I'm watching Househusband, I'm just like, I don't know, I guess it exists. But do I? I start to forget.
Holy shit, Rem. God, I almost want to apologize.
You should.
I don't think I will this time, though. But thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed Rem having an existential crisis over a one-joke show, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and leave us a review. It means the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if you'd like to support us more directly, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where both myself, Remington, and our lovely editor, Dylan, will occasionally play video games, shoot the shit, and yell at each other for being bad at video games. And if you'd like to support us even more directly than that, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you can get access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to have your name read aloud on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
Yes, a time for gratitude. That is the feeling that I have in my bosom.
Rem, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. You don't have to take it out on them.
All right.
If you're going to take it out on anybody, take it out on, like, Netflix or something.
Fuck you, Netflix.
And there goes the sponsorship deal. Damn.
There goes that original anime out of context anime we've been working on.
Yeah.
All right, we'd like to send our regards
It's
to
gonna be
all
live
of our
action, though.
planned bitch protagonists as well as our magical girls. But moving on, we have the yandere waifus who, with their Yakuza past, have now turned into house husbands. Crazy. And on that list, we have Alex, Xanax, Yandere Neko, Yahir, with a particular frequency, only the insects are killed, reports Misaka. Why Sean? Why do we get Sean X Big Bird OnlyFans? When do we get Sean X Big Bird OnlyFans? Hell yeah. Walk me home gently. VTubers ruined my YouTube algorithm. Veiny Jordan, Juliana, Totally God, The Susanator, The Cactus crossed the road because it was stuck to the chicken, That Film Guy, Sticky Jelly, Sorry about calling for HUBS, my name didn't update when I wanted to, This is Mechanic Weeb, Silent Secondary, Shoujo Addict, Don't Send Help, Send Me More Romance Tropes because my husband isn't a romantic is the title of my light novel. Sean, show Rem Akchikochi, or you will cringe every week, or Dylan will get some blackmail material.
He already has blackmail material.
Yes,
That doesn't scare me. That doesn't scare me.
Sean is to Yu-Gi-Oh! As Remington is to Kirito. Sean is excited
I don't know what that means.
I figure out that analogy. Someone make sense of it for us. It could mean many things. Sean is excited to build a Rent-A-Girlfriend White Swords deck of his waifu, mommy, but I think she is trash. Shark, Sarah Birch, Salty Pretzel, Ross Palmer, Rhiannon Williams, Remington Merrill. Remington has bottom energy, ready to be isekai'd. Oi, Josuke, I realize that since space is connected to time, I can control time, and now there's this Italian stripper behind me. Oh, baby, I hear Roanapura calling. Noprope89, No Waifu No Laifu, Navi, Mike the Mutilator, Matthew Drum Says Rem's a Bitch, Marky Hughes, Man the Fern, Makachop92, Madoka Magica has a gotcha game now, Mad02 Max, Lukey O, Luke Offenberger, Lonely Geek 23, Locked in Daddy Rem's Basement, Don't Send Help, Kazu Morocco, Casey Mosley, Cassidy, Just a Traveler, Jax, Jam Hands, Ichigo Sim 015, I Want Rem to Ruin DITF for me, I, Remington, enjoy Moe Lolly Girls. I, Remington, am known as the voice of the people, and those people say Toradora. I have the power. I could be the hero. I could be the villain. It doesn't really matter. I can make this idiot say anything. I guess you're on Keter duty. Aha, you thought this was another Green Day repeat, but it was me, Dio. Hunter Davies. Hey, you slob on my knob like corn on the cob, then give me head like a Rem in bed. Do a moan. Hey, Rem, let me tongue punch your fart box. Glenn Michael Dolan. Gavin, in parentheses, the Goblin King. Join my army, please. Fuck of Love Foxton Boy. French anime fans are known as weeps. Farmer Hipster Weeb was begging like a dog on Patreon for anime recommendations before it was cool. Fantide, Fallen Ghoul, Epic Amy, Dulu Patrol Officer Spark Project, Dracula United Hentai Production Manager, Dr. Zorgonite, Dua, Datatype, Darkswarm 713, Danny Morbido, Creed 13, Shy 900, Christian Moss, Chocoboa, Cheese Monkey, Cage in the House, Brockhard for Geodudes, Be Like Harry and Don't Fuck Your Sister Unless It's Your Redheaded Best Friend's Sister, Ariel Bird, Anime Out of Context Figures When I Already Filled the Last Mason Jar, oh god, Andrew Rauke, Elise Howard, Alpha Weeb Wants and Joey Wheeler, Hey you, Sam, believe in the heart of the cards, AJ Honey, and Adam McLaughlin. Thank you all so much, but we now move on across the pond over to Hogwarts, to the Boy Wizard tier, where all of the boy wizards are going to be getting some chores around the house to fill their house husbandly duties. So, I know it's not glamorous, but it's got to be done. And on that list, we have Maximilian. You're going to be in charge of cleaning the refrigerator. What is love, a vow, a band of gold, an ephemeral state of mind, or an action? Perhaps a gift only truly received when reciprocated. You are going to get vacuuming. Warning, we still remember the barrel. So do I. I'll never forget. You get to wash the car. Tony the Great. You gotta bathe the dogs. The Russian otaku, Dulu. You are going to, you're in charge of washing the dishes. And Stick Meat, you are in charge of, drying the dishes. We just no dishwasher, so it's rough. Silicone Spectre, you are going to get, clean the garage. It's a big task, but it's also one of the most rewarding. Pocket Gamer 513, for you, you go grocery shopping. We're running out of food in this house. PL Mayor, could you mow the lawn? Pilkster the Symphogear advocate, if for some it's gonna be mowing lawn, but it might be wintry also. So Pilkster, you need to shovel snow around. So, Odlin of Fish, you are going to, you're gonna do the laundry, Nyan Pasu, 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 Nyan.
Did you just have a stroke?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You are in charge of folding the laundry. MT the Poet, could you water the plants around the house? That would be great. Mr. Marshmallow Man, meal prep is what you're gonna be in charge with. Momo the Griff, how about you, dust? Mommy Baduko, Fuda Trap Thing Asadoof, Didadoof, Shinadoof Badono, Cursed Waifu Bitamai, Lord Brockdoof of Dulu. Good God. I
think he just activated like a sleeper code or something.
I feel like that every fucking week, dude. You are in charge. You need to winterize the house. Make sure that it doesn't. We're not paying to warm up the outside. Mike wants an Overlord review. Could you rake up the leaves? Miguel Dalion. You need to take out the trash. Inuyasha's my favorite cryptid wants an Inuyasha review for Valentine's. Could you, toilets clogged, needs to get unclogged. We don't know who did it. Actually, you know what? We know exactly who did it, and it was Hinata is a Ball of Sunshine.
Oh, jeez.
You're just
mean.
in timeout for clogging the toilet. So no chores, but, social judgment. Hey, sky's the limit. We can spread wings to road less traveled. Together we go. You are going to get, you need to feed the pets. Hey, Sean, are you a haunted house? Because I'll scream when I'm in you.
Jesus.
Holy fuck.
Holy shit.
I mean, haunted house, clear up the cobwebs. In
God.
Sean. Oh,
Hey, hold on.
Hey, kids, throw his biscuit into a
Fuck.
fetch. You are going to get, clean the fish tank. It's getting messy. Harrison, you are going to get, sweeping. Fisherman from Norway, you need to wipe the counters, after dinner. Dwarven Spade, you need to make the bed. Deck, you need to bring in the 20 dishes from your room. They've accumulated way too much. We are all out of forks and out of glasses. So.
Oh, that's a little too real.
Beethoven 1201, aka Kohei Izumi. I need fucking more chores. There's not enough chores in the world. God damn it. You are in charge of delegating chores to other people and making sure that they are doing it properly. Allfather is now bribing the host to do JoJo Part 3 for every month we don't get one. I had $10. Hashtag ooh. You are in charge of cleaning Dylan's cage. Aaron Hegland, you are going to be in charge specifically of helping repair Sean's Dakimakura Castle.
Oh, Jesus.
He's been playing War, and it's just in shambles. And last but not least, we have 2 section. I have to show you my Rule 34 of Yui. It is my favorite of my many folders. And your chore is, just to not watch anime, which is a chore we can all get behind. Moving on, we get to the highest of all tiers. That's right, the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier. And on this one, Sean is going to give some spooky Yakuza threats as Joey Wheeler.
Oh, no.
except for one of you, who he will give a nice house husbandly greeting.
Is that going to be your mother?
That's up to you to decide, Sean.
I get to pick.
Yeah, you get to choose. There's 4, so it's up to, we want 3 scary Yakuza, 1 house husband. All right, via hypnosis, I shall speak to you, Sean. It is I, Sage. My plan is moving without hitch. Soon your dooms will be upon you. Ah ha ha.
God, getting into Joey Wheeler these days is harder and harder.
Just a good old hey Yugs.
Hey Yugs. Hey, I don't think that's a very nice thing to say, and if you keep saying things like that, I'm gonna introduce you to my old pal, the Ice Pick. See, now I just sound like a mobster. If you do Joey Wheeler Yakuza, you just sound like an old-school Italian mobster.
Hey, man, that's fine. All right, then we move on to Pope of the Church of Remington, Chase. What do you have for him, Sean / Yakuza Joey?
If you think about it, see, now I'm going full into the mobster. What the hell is going on?
You need a little bit more Boston.
A little bit more Boston. Boston? Hey, Yugs. All right, okay. Yeah, Mr. Pope, it's gotta be said, with that kind of attitude, you're bound to lose a finger.
All right, then, of course, we have my dear old mother.
Do I be nice to Remington's mother?
Make a decision, coward.
Yeah. Remington's mom, you've done a lot of good in the world. Why'd you have to do this guy, eh? Come on, can't we come to an agreement on what counts as quality?
I have no idea what the fuck that was, but we'll accept it.
I don't know what it was either, because halfway through I was like, I don't know if I can actually insult your mother.
And last but not least, going above and beyond, we have Dylan Hayden.
Hey, Dylan, would you like... Goddamn. Welcome home. Would you like dinner, a bath, or watashi?
What the All right, thank you all
a dinner,
for
a bath, or me. It's a running joke in the, house husband, housewife. It's a weeb joke, Rem.
Oh, fucking weebs. All right, if you want to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, then you can either tweet us at AnimeCottonPod on Twitter or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
I can move past the shitty animation. I can't move past 50 Shades of Cock. Did they just trace over the manga but worse?
Fuck, thank God I've got a short penis.
Sean looking through his list of like, what's the shortest penis?